Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be the first of hopefully many replay reviews of Age of Empires 4 games, and this matchup is going to be me as the Abbasid Dynasty up against Luke Gaming. He's going to be playing as the Chinese. I'm going to speed it up here in the beginning because it's a pretty standard build. Nothing crazy happens in the beginning here. We're both going to get to the feudal age and move on from there. Now, when you're up against a Chinese opponent, you should be really careful of Zhuge Nu rushes. So Zhuge Nu are a unique Chinese unit. They are a archer unit. They shoot repeater crossbows, which do very small amounts of damage, but in sort of a burst fire. So it's kind of like taking 4 damage 3 times really quickly. So like 4, 4, 4. And it's a very strong unit versus most early game units. For the simple point that no early game units have high armor, besides buildings. So Zhuge Nu are just incredibly strong. They'll shred spearmen. They'll shred scouts. Really, the only counter that you can muster against Zhuge Nu is archers and armor. If you can get armor upgrades on your units, that's going to really help you against the Zhuge Nu. If you get archers, those will at least trade with the Zhuge Nu. Your spearmen will just get kited, as in the Zhuge Nu will fire at you and then retreat a little bit, fire at you, retreat a little bit, and they can do that all day. By the time your spearmen get maybe 1 attack in, the Zhuge Nu will have retreated multiple times and gotten multiple volleys out. So really, I highly recommend getting 2 archery ranges and trying to get whatever armor upgrade you can. So let's slow things down now that we're maybe 5 minutes into the game. I decided to go with the economic wing as my tier 1 landmark. I chose this because I wanted to make cheap villagers. The economic wing gives you access to this fresh foodstuffs technology, and that will make my villagers cost only 25 food rather than 50. So my hope is the moment I finish this economic wing, I start on the fresh foodstuffs. It looks like I can afford it. Hopefully I click it soon. This is a tech that you want to get almost immediately. Okay, there it goes. If I hadn't gone this route, I would have also recommended going the military wing and getting camel support technology. So this will increase the armor of nearby infantry if they're near a camel. If you build 2 archery ranges, you can just pump out archers and the occasional camel archer, and now your infantry naturally have that +1 armor. That's going to help you against the Zhuge Nu. My plan here was, I'm tired of getting rushed by Chinese players who just build Zhuge Nu and then battering rams, so I decided I would put on a little bit of aggression. I'm using my scouts right now to kind of probe my enemy, and I'm looking for a soft target. I'm trying to find something that isn't well defended. So basically anything that isn't near a town center, isn't near this Barbican of the Sun, because this is a keep. You don't want to go anywhere near this thing. Or anything that doesn't have an outpost near it. So I'm going to avoid this town center, this Barbican of the Sun. So this area, and probably some of this food area, this is just a no-go for attacks. But this gold mining camp here is pretty exposed, so this will probably be my target for the attack. My attack's just going to be a mix of spearmen and archers. So you can see I'm rallying units across the map. My hope here is that with a little bit of early pressure, I can disrupt my opponent's playstyle, and I can greed for something while the attack is going on. So can I collect some resources that I wouldn't normally collect? Or can I build some buildings that I wouldn't normally build? Or can I get a technology that I wouldn't normally research while my opponent is being harassed? So I decided behind this harassment, I would start mining stone. And I like this decision mostly because I've already got the cheaper villagers. They're only 25 food. If I can make a second town center, which requires a lot of wood and a good chunk of stone, then I can really take advantage of my cheap villagers. So while I'm greeting back at my base and building structures, mining resources I wouldn't normally collect, my attack is beginning. So I'm going for the gold mine. I'm going for any villagers I might see there. And the one thing to think about when you are doing harassment like this is, am I killing villagers or am I getting villagers to stop gathering temporarily? This back and forth that he's doing with his villagers is the best way to prevent them from dying, but this is maybe 10, 15 seconds of villagers not gathering gold. And there's another, this could be a positive development if you think about it some ways. He just spent some wood to make an outpost. Once this finishes, I'll have to retreat, but I've already killed a villager over here with these two archers, and now it looks like, unfortunately, they're attacking the mill, but now I've got them targeting the Imperial official, so that's good. The outpost kind of stops me in my tracks, and now here come the Zhuge Nu. So these are the crossbowmen with the repeater crossbows. Oh, I get the Imperial official there. That's a big win. They cost a lot of food, and they take a bit of time to produce from the town center. So that was a big win right there. So that's one villager, one Imperial official already gone. Now you're really going to see the crossbows in action. I mean, it's only 3 of them right now, but you can see them retreating. He's got reinforcements, so he's just going to continue to pull back. This looks good for me, but these 6 Zhuge Nu are going to destroy my spearmen very quickly. And coming up here is a bit of a mistake on my end. I should have kept my battering ram a little bit more protected. Instead, he pulls all of his villagers off of gold, and he just burns it really quickly. Though he did pull his villagers off, so that was a win there. That's some resources denied. But my attack is over with because those Zhuge Nu, they're coming out they're coming out fast. So now that the harassment's done, let's look at where we stand. Back at my base, I've greeded to a good degree. I got my market, I got my blacksmith building right now, and I got my second town center going. This was a huge win. I remember using the market to buy additional stone, and that's what got me this second town center. And I'm putting it a little bit forward near this food source because town centers are kind of a defensive building. They'll shoot at enemy units, so I figure it can fortify this position here. The one thing that I'm worried about now is a counterattack. If I'm the Chinese opponent, I want to punish me for going for harassment and not following up with it. So here he comes, and I actually spot his Zhuge Nu coming. I pull my scout back, and now I know the attack's coming. So all I do is focus on getting defenses and units. So I'm going to throw up an outpost here. Maybe a bit of an overkill, what with the town center being here, but I figured I'd put it here anyway. Of course, immediately after starting construction on that, I realized, oh, this high ground is probably a juicy spot for my opponent to take, so I should probably defend that as well. So I toss an outpost up there too. Rush my archers over there, because I want them to at least be trading with the Zhuge Nu when they come by. But at this point, I'm bracing for an attack. I've already researched my level 1 armor, So that's really helpful. Like I said, you want archers and you want armor. So I've already got the tier 1 armor upgrade against range. And now you can see some of this trading here. I feel like that's a lot of Zhuge Nu, so I retreat into the tower. And at this point, I'm throwing everything into my military production. I'm desperate for anything and everything that'll get me units. Wood and food is basically all I'm looking for right now. I am producing some villagers to mine gold. And keep in mind, while all of this is going on, while all this posturing is going on, while he's looking for the right place to attack, maybe down here, although I've got an outpost, so this is pretty well protected. All the time while he's looking around for a right angle to attack from, I've got 2 town centers producing villagers. I'm getting ahead in the villager count big time. I've already got 47 villagers. And I can afford it all because they only cost half of the normal resources. So here I am still fortifying my position. I'm pumping out as many units as I can. Any gold that I have, I'll dump into the marketplace to buy whatever I need. Like maybe I'll buy some wood if I wanted to produce a bunch more archers. Having the market, it's helpful for getting the resources you need in the moment. So his little attack there didn't really do much of anything. I only have 5 villagers here. That's the exact number that can hide in this tower. So he's going to need siege units to really do something. So he immediately gets to work on building battering rams. Now units have to spend their time building these, so I decide this is a good time to attack, or at least harass. But he notices, he orders his Zhuge Nu to attack. He's got the advantage in numbers. Yes, I've got my armor upgrade. Yes, I've got mostly archers. I'm willing to trade a little bit here, but ultimately I have to retreat. I'm still delaying. He has to, while his Zhuge Nu are attacking, he's not building the battering rams. So all this time, I'm just pumping units. You can see every military building's sending out units. And I'm also building up a pretty big bank of gold. If I can survive this, then I can advance to the next stage very easily. So he's building 3 battering rams. This is a lot of rams. I would have maybe just gone for 1 or 2. 2 maybe. But 3, that's like trying to take down a key building. That's like trying to take down a town center. I don't know if he wants to commit this much, but he's going for it. Now I'm actually quite pleased with him attacking this outpost up here. Like, it's not defending too much. And I figure, okay, if he wants to fight there, let's fight there. If I were him, maybe would have gone over here, but let's see how this battle turns out. You can see the Zhuge Nu are firing, but the spearmen are actually engaging a little bit. I've even got villagers up here. I just grabbed everything I could, thinking that I was in a desperate situation. But honestly, the armor upgrades, the sheer number of archers, I was quite pleased with how this turned out. And so on the back of this sort of win here, I decided to tech up to Castle Age. But I made a pretty stupid decision here. In retrospect, this was a big blunder. I decided to go for the trade wing, thinking that I would research spice roads, make a bunch of traders from my marketplace, and send them to the neutral market that's on the map. But it turns out this map, King of the Hill, does not have a neutral marketplace. So there was nowhere to send traders, and there was no reason to get the trade wing. because all of this research has to do with trading and traders. So this was a pretty useless advance. If I could go back and change what I took, I would probably go, I'd probably go Culture Wing, get the Preservation of Knowledge, and then continue to upgrade my units at an even cheaper price. Like this reduces the cost of all technology by 30%. It's very, very helpful. So there's a little bit of skirmishing in the middle of the map, but I decided to send a small force of archers kind of around to see if they could find maybe an undefended area that I could take advantage of, kill a few villagers. As you can see, it's just kind of units trickling into this area. He seems to want to defend these battering rams. So be it. Honestly, could maybe retreat them further. My archers find a great spot here. Some exposed villagers who are hunting. Run past them, but I think I spot them eventually. And this is huge. If I can get a few villager kills here while just kind of trading here, great. And because I've reached the Castle Age, I can also build mangonels. The Abbasid dynasty gets the siege engineering upgrade for free. Oh, this is the archers finding villagers. Ooh, that's 2, 3. That's 3 villagers. And I can't do anything about the mills, so I think I just squirrel these guys away in the corner here. But like I said, this mangonel, getting the free siege engineering as Abbasid is great, but what a lot of people don't realize is you also can build springalds and mangonels in the field. Super helpful for when you just need to get these units down. And I mean, you have so many infantry as Abbasid. I don't particularly go cavalry as them. I mean, I did build a stable, but I was mostly getting those to, in case he continued to go Zhuge Nu. But this mangonel, I mean, these things are just great. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This thing can destroy ranged units. It does decent damage to buildings. Like, that's not bad. That's decent. And I mean, it's the counter to massed ranged units. So all these Zhuge Nu, they do not want to be going up against a mangonel. And they don't even do any damage to it. They're basically tickling this mangonel. Now I do see all these scouts. He did in fact go professional scouts, so he was out on the map hunting deer and returning them to his base. That was kind of unfortunate. I mean, there wasn't much that I could do to prevent it. There they all are. They're just gonna hunt these deer and take them back to the town center. But he's got bigger things to worry about at this point. This mangonel and my small army, I already know he's got all of these villagers here, and I spot him putting down the Imperial Palace, his landmark that'll take him to the Castle Age, and put his tech on par with mine. But I mean, he has to deal with this small force right now, or he's gonna lose a ton of villagers. He sends everything he's got at the mangonel, and I'm more than happy to do this. I'll take down as many of his villagers as I can. It looks like 4 or 5 right there. But then he walks in with the Zhuge Nu. After the mangonel is gone, he's no longer scared. He can send this huge cluster of Zhuge Nu forward and just mow down my units. But I'm still transitioning, so I'm just starting to get my Castle Age units. You can see I've got crossbowmen, I've got a camel rider, and here they are, the man-at-arms. A great counter to Zhuge Nu. This is what you're going to be making the moment you hit the Castle Age to counter these Zhuge Nu. Besides the mangonels, you're going to make man-at-arms. They have 5 ranged armor. They have a lot of health. They will survive all the Zhuge Nu shots. So they're a great unit to make, pair them with mangonels, a few crossbowmen. If you want lancers from your stables, and you've got a great force to take on archer units. In the back, it looks like I'm mining a lot and defending this area with a small army. Could maybe just put down 2 outposts and then send these guys to the front. These archers, okay, they just need to scoot a little over and they can start killing all of these villagers, so it's really unfortunate that I haven't spotted that. And it looks like I've got idle villagers back home. All these villagers, 14 of them. But I mean, my economy is roaring at this point. I have 84 villagers. It feels like the game is in my hands at this point. I'm actively destroying his buildings. All of his villagers who were here are gone. All he's making is Zhuge Nu and some lancers. At this point, I feel like the game's over. For things that I would have liked to see here near the end, I'd like to see myself get a mosque a little quicker. It'd be nice to get some imams out on the field picking up relics. And I guess I'd like to see more upgrades coming out. But other than that, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I hope this taught you something about how to counter Zhuge Nu when they're rushed by the Chinese. Focus on those armor upgrades, get archers, maybe go military wing and get the camel armor aura. But I think that's a good example of not getting overwhelmed by Zhuge Nu early on. So hope to see you again next time.